Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Chet's Info Source. I'm Chetana S. Today in this video we will study about the Sangam literature. Yes, this Sangam literature belongs to the ancient Indian history. So let's see what is this Sangam literature, or this is also called as Sangam age. So the Sangam literature gives the information about the South India, and it is also called as Tamil Kam. So the major information which we get about the South India is through the Sangam literature. So this is between 3rd century BC to 3rd century CE. And this literature, no, this is literature. So this is in the form of poetic, and poetic format has love and war, So this is the literature. So what is a Sangam? What do we call Sangam? Sangam is a college or assembly of Tamil poets which are held under the royal patronage, So it is said that three sangams held. There are three sangams held. The first sangam was held around Old Madurai region, Old Madurai, and the second one was held in Kapatpuram. The third one was held near New Madurai. So as I said, Sangam is a assembly of Tamil poets. So there are three Sangams. So this Sangam can be divided into narrative and didactic. Didactic, narrative and didactic. So first one, let's see the narrative. What does narrative has? Narrative has Melkanakku or 18 major works or 18 major works. So major works, 18 major works are there. Out of that, famous one is Ittu Togai. Ittu Togai. It has 8 long poems, and Pattupath. Pattupath. Pattupaltu. It has 10 small poems. So all these poems are of heroic poetry. Heroic poetry. And since this is an heroic poetry, this gives information about the state formation. So coming to didactic. So this has Tilkanakku or 18 minor works. Out of this, Tirukural and Naladiyar is famous. Out of this, Tirukural and Naladiyar is famous. So this gives information about the king and society. And it also gives information about the social groups, not only about these social groups, also about the occupations. So basically this Tamil Sangam gives information about the Cholas, Cheras, and Pandyas. So these three were the major three kingdoms which were ruled in southern India. The Sangam literature is also mentioned in Hathigumpa inscriptions. So this Tamil Sangam gives about all this information of the three Cholas, Cheras, and the Pandyas. Other Sangam literature are also important. Other Sangam literature. Which are the other Sangam literature? The first one is Silapadi Karam. Silapadi. One second. Yes. Silapadi Karam. So this is written by Ilango Adigal, Ilango Adigal. So this explains about the love story of Kovalan, Kannagi, Kannagi, and Madhavi. So later there is a Kannagi cult being followed in Tamil kingdom. The second one is Mani Makalai. Mani Makalai. So this is written by Sitalai, Sitalai Satanar, Sitalai Satanar, and this Manika Malai is there. No, she is the daughter of Madhavi and Kovalam. So this is like the continuation of Silapadi Karam. The third one, Tolka Tolka PM. So this is written by Tolka PR, and this is was formed during the Second Sangam. This explains about the Tamil grammar and poetics. The fourth one, Tirukural. This explains the philosophy of Tiruvalluvar. So these are the four major other Sangam literatures which we have found out. Okay. So next coming to the three kingdoms, which are the Cholas, Pandyas and Cheras. Each regarding the polity, economy, we'll look into it. Okay. The first thing is related to polity. First thing is related to the polity. So the three major kingdoms we'll see, and we'll also see about their rivalry also. The Cholas. So Cholas, the capital was at Kaveri Pattanam, and it was famous for cotton trade, also called as Uriyur. Uriyur is a place which was famous for cotton trade. The emblem is tiger. Emblem is tiger for Cholas. So the major centers of trade were, first one is Kaveri Patnam, Uriyur, and there is also Arikamedu or Puducherry. Adding to that, Puducherry is also a famous center for trade and industry. And the most famous king known as Elara. He was the earliest known king, and it is said that he conquered Sri Lanka, and ruled for 50 years. Out of all the kings, Karikala was the greatest king, and he has built a dam across Kaveri river. He built a dam across the Kaveri river. Next, coming to the Pandyas. Yes. Their capitals is Madurai. Emblem is carp or fish, we can tell. Carp or fish. And Pandyas also had trade relations with Romans. And this is mentioned in Megasthenes. And the kingdom was very wealth and it was in prosperity. Coming to Cheras, capital is at Vanji. And emblem is bow and arrow. The most important ruler is Senguttuvan. Senguttuvan is the most important ruler. He started the Kannagi cult. Kannagi or Pattani cult. So Kannagi became the object of worship. He was the first king to send an ambassador to China. He had a reputation of being very healthy and ethical, virtuous decision. He was very ethical in his ruling. Another important thing is Gajabahu. Gajabahu was his contemporary Sri Lankan king. Gajabahu was the contemporary Sri Lankan king. The important trade centers were Karur and Mujirispatnam. Okay, so it is said that Romans settled here, and Roman temple was also built. Temple was also built. So this is about the polity of the Cholas, Pandyas, and the Cheras. Next, coming to administration. Coming to administration. So the entire kingdom was divided into mandalam. Mandalam. So then Nadu. It was divided into Nadu. Nadu means province. So this and further was divided into towns or ur. Small towns was called as Sirur. Small town was called as Sirur or small village. Big village was called as Perur. This is small village and this is big village. King was called as Komanan. King was called as Komanan. And he was the center of administration. So king position is very important here. And Avai. Avai was the court of crowned monarch. Was the court of crowned monarch. There are also other ministers like Amaichar. Amaichar. Amaichar means ministers. Amaichar means ministers. And priest was called as Anatnar. Priests were called as Anatnar. And Senapatiyar. Senapatiyar were called as military commanders. Military commanders. And they were also spies during this time. So spies were called as Urar. Spies were called as Urar. Apart from this, they collected revenue. So few terminologies are very important. Karai was called as land tax. Ulgu was called as custom duties. Next, Iravu was the uh, gift. Irai was the tribute. Was the tribute paid by feudatories. And there is also a tax collector, and he was called as Veriyar. Veriyar was the tax collector. Veriyar was the tax collector. So, what was the economy during this time? What was the economy during these three kingdoms? So, Tamil literature gives the information about their agriculture, industry, trade. They said that the Tamil kingdoms were very prosperous, they were very rich, and during that time we had balance of trade favored to us. So, what does that mean? We'll see. Major items of exports. We used to export muslin, sandalwood, pepper, medicines. Okay. Imports were major gold, silver, dry fruits, ivory. So these made the state very rich. And the trade was greatly in favor of India. And this is supported by a Roman author called Pliny. He mentions this in his Naturalis Historia, and he regrets that there was a huge amount of gold and silver drained to India. So many huge amount of gold and silver were flowing to India. So this made the rich states. And another Ptolemy, he mentions in his Geographia that there was a trade imbalance of Roman Empire with India. So we had an foreign trade relation with Roman Empire, and we used to import more of gold and silver. So there was a trade imbalance of the Roman Empire with India. Next, there were during this time there was a discovery of monsoon winds. There was discovery of monsoon winds by Hippalus. So this made the navigation more easy towards India, and hence there was more trade between India and the West. Tamil Mandalam next. Tamil Mandalam served as the silk trade with China. Silk trade with China. And there are also other revenue like land revenue, custom duty on foreign trade, and beauty captured in wars were the main sources of income for the kings. And people were majoritarily pastorals, hunter, fishermen. They also produced rice. So coming to society coming to society so there were social classes like arasars. Arasar means ruling class. Kadasiyar, these were the lower class people. And there's also Antanas, so these were called the priest. And Vanigar were called these were the people who were involved in trade. And Vellalar they were engaged in agriculture. And it is said that they were rich peasants also. The woman status increased, or women courage, creativity, their spirituality were given importance. Hence there were women poets as well during this time. So the major women poets were Avayar and Nacheliyar, Kakai Padiyar. So these three were the major women poets. Love marriage was accepted during the Sangam society, and sati was prevalent. So the plight of the women widows were very bad. Sati was practiced. There were also tribals present in Sangam society. So coming to religion, the most important deity was Murugan. Murugan was the most important deity. There was also Nadukal hero stone, which is worshipped for the bravery of the soldiers. And the mage land was divided like Kurinji. Kurinji. Kurinji is called as hilly tracts. Mulai was the pastoral land. Marudam. Marudam was called the agriculture. Nedal represented the coastal area, and Palai the desert. So these five types of land is mentioned in Tolkappiyam. So we get information about these things. So each type of land was associated with a distinct activity, and there was a related deity to it also. Like Kurinji. Kurinji means hilly tracts. There was hunting, and Murugan was the god. Murugan was the god. Mullai, pastoral, cattle. No? So Vishnu was the deity. Marudam, agriculture. Indra was the god. Nedal, coastal, fishing will be there. Deity is Varunan. Palai, desert, robbery used to take place. So Koravai is the god. It is also during these times that Jainism and Buddhism flourished these times, and they got an expansion also. So this is about the Sangam literature of the South India. I hope you have liked it. Please share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel for further videos. Thank you.